This week we're going to make a range of dishes all using the same simple ingredients. So once you've got the basics sorted, you can do a great range from lunch right through to full parties with these. So join us again this week for another wee bit of cooking. So we're cooking a very simple dish to start with, and once you've mastered this, and it is really easy, then you can make a whole range of dishes from it. So we're starting with a little bit of pasta. So I've got some water boiling in the background here. I'm just going to pop in some gluten-free pasta. Now, there's a big range of pastas out there which are good right through to pretty awful, and by awful I mean they come out very, very sticky. So if you're using one of the pastas which doesn't seem to cook terribly well or gels together, add a good blob of olive oil into your water. Now there are good ones out there that don't stick together and you can cook it like normal pasta, but they tend to be a rice flour of some kind. Some have corn flour in them, some have a blend of flours. So the one I'm using here has just rice flour, corn flour and water, and then it's popped into boiling water, and that will be ready in a few minutes. Next thing I'm going to do is just heat some cheese. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of cheese into the saucepan and melt it. A typical a roux, a basic sauce for pasta, is basically a flour and butter. So it's an equal amount of flour with an equal amount of fat. So that can be butter, margarine, or even cheese in this case. And to that you can then add some milk, and that's your basic vegetable sauce for pastas. You can add some herbs in, you can add bits of tomato or passata as I have here. But what I'm going to do is just melt the cheese first. So rather than go for the sauce, melt cheese and then add in some tuna. So it's very, very quick. This is a very simple lunch. You can hide some vegetables in there. You can finally chop a little bit of cauliflower or broccoli, cook it and add it into the mix. But what I'm basically doing is make a sticky tuna based mix. So again, instead of tuna you could use a mince, fry it off for 5 or 6 minutes, just cook it through and then pop it in with the cheese. What we're trying to do is make a sticky gloop which it holds together. You can then spread it on toast, add it into your pasta, however you wish. So our cheese is melted down very quickly there. Give that a stir. And I'm going to add in some tuna. This is the no drain tuna, so I can add it straight in. Otherwise you'd want to take out some of the oil or brine. Let's put that back on the heat. And basically the tuna's tin tuna, so it's already cooked, so you just need to stir it through to get it warmed. And what you're looking for is just a spoonable consistency, so at the moment it's still very loose. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more cheese to make it sticky. So if you didn't want to use cheese, just put in butter and flour. Normally you would make a roux. You would put in an equal amount of butter and flour and cook that up first, stirring it all the time until it's combined. In this case you can just pop it all in together and stir it all through and melt it together. It will stick to the tuna and just make a nice big sticky fish ball effectively, which you can then, as I say, spread on toast or use as the basis for your dish. So once the pasta is cooked, you tip that into a dish and then you can put the tuna and the cheese on top and put the whole lot in the oven. And it's a very simple basic dish that's ready to eat in a few minutes. What we're going to do to make it go a little bit further, get that mixed through, then we're going to add some milk. And the milk will basically bulk it out a bit, but it'll be too wet to use. So you can keep it liquidy, you can keep it more of a sauce, or more of a sauce based tuna. What I like to do is add some more flour into it and combine it back together. So again, it keeps it a nice thick consistency, which can then sit on top of your pasta for baking. There we go. We've got our tuna and our cheese melting down. And when that comes together, you can form it into more of a ball. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of milk. that through as well. So while our cheese is melted, our tuna is starting to heat through. I've got a bit more milk in there, so I'm going to add a little bit more. So it's a great dish for kids because it's filled with calcium from the milk, there's protein in there, and there's fish. And if you've got one of the fish varieties that's got plenty of oil in it, plenty of omega-3s, then it's a great healthy dish. You can also add some peas in. So pop the frozen peas into your pasta, just cook them together. And put them in near the end, so peas cook very quickly. Or you can microwave them and add them after, but it's an easy way just to get them all combined. So there we go. So there's our tuna, our cheese and our milk. So to me that's quite wet. It's quite liquidy. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of flour. You can use corn flour. I'm just using plain gluten-free flour here. And it just adds a thickener which pulls the sauce together. There we go. So that's our tuna, cheese, milk and flour combining. So if I lift it on the spoon, you can see it there, it's thick and it's quite sticky. So you can lift that out. It's a sticky ball. And so you can make it thicker if you wish. You can add a little bit more flour, or you can leave it wet like that. So as it is, it's a nice spinnable texture. You can put your pasta once it's cooked through into a dish, any kind of, even just a bowl if you're making a small amount like this. Put your tuna mix on top and pop it in the oven. If you want to make it a bit more tasty, top it with something crunchy, just to give it a bit of texture. So crumble crisps onto it, and you get all sorts of different flavoured crisps. Kyo's do a great range of gluten-free crisps, such as chili, for example, so you can get a really nice chili crisp. Crunch that up over the top, gives you a little bit of spice and crunch to the top of your dish. Alternatively, you can even use cornflakes, so gluten-free cornflakes, you can crumble them over the top. It just gives you a wee bit of extra crunch and texture to it. Okay, so it's come together quite nicely. Just going to check our pasta. Now, the easiest way to check pasta is just to take a piece and see if you can stab it with a fork. If you can't get the fork into it, then it's still too hard. As it is, there's a bit of pasta on the fork there, so just push it on. If I hold the fork up, it doesn't slide off, so it's not soft enough yet. You'll feel it yourself, it's still quite firm, and you can take a bite out of it, but it's a little too hard. You want a little bit of bite in it, you don't want it to go mushy, but again, soon it's not falling off the fork, so it's still not ready. So into our tuna, cheese and milk mix, I'm going to add a little bit of passata. So again, you can use chopped tomatoes. It's up to yourself what you have in the fridge. I'm just putting in a little bit. I find tomato is used quite a lot in dishes, especially for kids, but I find it too strong. It's a flavour that overtakes all the other flavours. So I'm putting in just enough to give us a bit of tomato. It also gives us a bit of colour. There we go. That's that combined. At this point you can add some herbs, so any herbs that go well with tomato, with fish and pasta. So basil's is great, and even just a little bit of parsley or a wee bit of thyme can be quite nice, but you pop it in there and let it cook through. Turn up our pasta a little bit, just to keep it simmering. It's nice just to pop this in a bowl, and it's supposed to be ready to eat. So our pasta will go in there, and we can put our tuna mix on top. Another great thing you can do, if you want to do something a little more snazzy, is you want to take some of this out. Just keep it to one side. I'm just going to thicken this up a little bit. So we'll leave that's our tuna mix. And say it's great spread on toast, so as a simple lunch. It's super. What I'm going to do is just add a little bit more flour and thicken it up again. So what I want to do is make it into a moldable shape. So far we have a basic tuna, cheese and milk mix with a little bit of flour which you can spread on toast. You can add it to the pasta for a pasta bake and then top it with some crisps or cornflakes for a crunchy topping. Or we can thicken it up even further, so that's not bad. It's getting there. Add a little bit more flour in. It come together and it really starts to form into a thick ball. So what we're looking for is something that we can mould, we can shape. And these are great for dinners or for parties, and kids love them. So, there we go, that's nice and thick. Now it's sticking down to the spoon now. What we're going to do is take a spoonful out. So normally you would take it all out then and form it. So what you want to do is form it into a ball. So we're just going to roll it up into a thick shaped ball here. So it was a little hot, you would let it cool normally. But what you want to do is form it into a ball and then dip it in some egg white. So, because it's warm, it's still quite sticky. Into an egg that you've beaten. So you basically beat an egg, dip it in the egg, and then dip it in breadcrumbs. So just toast some gluten-free bread. It's a great use for gluten-free bread that's been out for a day or two, because once it goes a bit stale, it's very hard to bring it back. Or if you have it in the freezer, you can toast it up. So you take your ball of either tuna, mince, whatever it may be, dip it in a beaten egg, and then dip it into breadcrumbs, and then pop it in oil. And basically you're crumbing the bread, or crumbing the tuna with the bread. And you actually make tuna balls, which are great for popping into a little bit of oil and frying off, and then you can serve them with pasta, just with the tuna on its own, or with any kind of sauce, a basic white sauce or tomato, or even just pure passata. So it gives you an instant quick dish, all from the same base. So you can start with spread for toast, right through to a bake, all the way up to individually produced tuna balls for serving at parties and dishes. So a great easy dish to get started with. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes. Our pasta is cooked, so I've just drained it, and we can add that into our bowl of tuna from earlier. So that's our tuna, cheese and milk mix. Again, if you had some peas, you can add it in there. The dish I made earlier was exactly that dish, topped with some of the Q's chili crisps. So that's why I didn't show them earlier, because we ate them all. But they went onto the tuna and pasta bake, and there's a photo of the finished product on the website. So we've since had that for dinner. But that's our tuna and pasta bake. So you can spread it on the toast, add it in here. So that gives you a couple of basic dishes. Next thing instead we do is make them into little balls. So what I've done is form them into a ball on the plate here. Typically, if you were going to bread something, you would dip it into flour first. So chicken, fish, dip it into flour, and the flour sticks to the food. The egg wash sticks to the flour, and then the breadcrumbs stick to the egg. Because it's tuna, it's quite sticky anyway, and cheese and milk. So what we're going to do is, we now have an egg hand. We roll that in the egg wash, and then we drop that into our breadcrumbs. Now, to make really good breadcrumbs, you take several slices of bread, trim off the crusts, put them into a blender, spread those crumbs out on a tray, and then pop it in the oven and toast them up, which is lovely. In this case, I put it in the toaster, took it out, and crumbled it by hand, because it's quick. The blender is certainly handy if you want a nice fine crumb. These crumbs are quite mixed in size, but we're not too worried. It's crunchy, it's quite nice. What we have got is a nice pan of hot oil, and the easy way to test if it's ready is bring it up to heat and drop some of your breadcrumbs in, and you see it starts to bubble there. You might be able to hear a little bit of it sizzling. What you don't want is to go mad. You don't want it popping and cracking, and certainly don't want it smoking. At that point you're close to the point of ignition in oil, and that means it's going to burst into flames. So So that's why you've always got to use a vegetable oil, or you can use olive oil, but not virgin or extra virgin olive oil. Basically they have a low flash point, so they will burst into flames at a low heat. So I'm just using vegetable oil here. So now we have our breaded ball of tuna. I'm just going to set it in. So this is your deep frying, effectively but without a deep fryer. Bear in mind that when you put something in the oil, you're going to drop the temperature of it, and it's not going to cook quickly. If it doesn't cook quickly enough, the breadcrumbs have time to absorb the oil, and you end up with a very oily tasting dish, which is not so nice. So we'll let that sit in there and sizzle. We'll pop another one in here. So with our egg hand, I'm in the egg wash, drop it into our breadcrumbs, cover it up, just give that a quick roll around, and drop that in. So what you'll see is that they'll change colour as they cook. So it's the easy way to remember. Bearing in mind you can't go too far wrong. The tuna was already cooked, and then it was heated through with our flour, our cheese and our milk. So it's not like the fish where you have to be sure it's purely cooked, properly cooked through. So in this case we're just heating it and crisping up our breadcrumbs. Drop that one in as well, and we'll let that go. Alright, just watch them sizzle, and then we'll use our tongs to turn them. So to keep things handy, tidy and clean for yourself, just get everything laid out. You've got your food, just an egg, broken and whisked up with a fork, and then your breadcrumbs. So now we have our tuna balls and breadcrumbs. So they'll toast up fairly quickly. Just going to use the tongs to turn them over here. And you'll see the colour difference right away as our toast crumbs deepen in colour and they'll go a nice crispy brown. But you don't need a big deep pan filled with oil. Certainly if you've got a little flat fryer, I have one in the cupboard there, that's great. But you've got to fill it up to the right amount every time. You've got to put 5 litres of oil in it. You have to wait for it to get up to 160 or 180 degrees. In this case I'm just using a frying pan with a centimetre or two, half an inch of oil in it to get our fryer going. And it's just enough to do a few at a time. So while that's cooking away there, I'm going to get a little bit of kitchen roll and ready on another plate to bring it out, because you want something to absorb all that excess oil. A couple of sheets. Another roll over, and you see it got a nice crispy dark colour. So they look pretty good. So give that one a little squash to keep the nice round shape. Depends how much oil you have, depends what temperature you're up to. You can maybe get more in the pan at one time to get cooking them quicker. But once they're ready, we can pop them on the plate and then leave them in the oven just to keep them warm. So with our tuna pasta bake, we simply add it into the tray and then cover it with a bit of tin foil and pop that in the oven. So we just give it 20 minutes just to crisp up the top of it. If you were pouring on the sauce, like a bechamel sauce, you would just add the tuna, some peas onto your pasta, and then pour the sauce on, and then crumble in your cornflakes or your crisps on top. Pop that in the oven, give it 5 minutes at 180, even 200 degrees, just to give it a nice crispy topping, and then cover it with a bit of tin foil and let it cook on for 10-20 minutes just to get the heat back into it and make it nice and ready for serving. And there's our crispy tuna balls are now ready. They're nice deep colour all around. They look quite good. Pop that out, give it a little shake to get the excess oil off it. Just remember always keep an eye on your oil to make sure it's not getting too hot or too cold. If it's too cold, it'll absorb that oil, you'll have a horrible strong oily flavour. And just drop a little breadcrumb in there. So it's still sizzling quite well, so we can start to get the next ones in. So just going to take that off the heat for a moment or two. Let's see what this is like. So you can see on the paper right away the excess oil that's come off of there. When I roll it around, there's nothing more coming out of it. So it's nice and crispy, nice and hot. fork. Just crack into that. There we go. Lovely. So they're very simple, battered tuna. Now there's cheese in there, there's milk, so it's lots of protein, lots of calcium. And again, you can then pour a little passata over it, a little tomato sauce, or simply serve it with the pasta. Yeah, even chips. Put your own homemade battered tuna balls. And they are yummy, especially with that nice thick cheese in it. You get a good strong cheese in there, you get a good strong flavour. I'm using mature cheddar, and it's just nice, but even something stronger again, if you really like your cheese, would be great. And it mixes beautifully with the tuna. And again, kids love these because they're handy and they're easy to eat. You can let them cool, you can let them nibble them, put them out in a big bowl for them to chomp on, or serve it in a dish at a party. Okay, so you get 3 basic dishes out of the same simple ingredients, and you can expand that once you have a basic tomato sauce or your bechamel sauce. You can add more herbs to it, you can bulk it out. And again, it works with beef and fish as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. It'll give you a very quick lunch, a great evening meal, or something ready for a party. It looks quite good and it's not a lot of work. So hopefully you'll get to see something tasty. Do take photos of anything you make during the week. Send it in to us, pop it on the Facebook, put it on Twitter, Instagram and on our website. And leave us comments of course on the website and on YouTube as well. Have a look at our sister site as well, Gluten Free Ireland. It'll show you some great places to eat out. And we hope you've enjoyed this. And we'll leave us lots of info and comments of what you're up to this week and what you're cooking. So join us again next week for another wee bit of cooking.